right? The politicians, the priests, the everyday man and woman wants to dominate, wants to control, wants to possess. Power has become extraordinarily important. The two superpowers. That means power in the hands of the few to dictate what others should think. The Christian church has done this excellently at one time. The heretics, the torture, the Inquisition, and all that. To control man through propaganda, through books, through words, through images, controlling him through his fear and reward and punishment. Any form of dissent is either tortured, expelled, concentration camps, or burnt. Right? This is history of man's stupidity. Though he calls it patriotic, religious. Now we're asking, is it possible to live without any sense of power? You understand what I'm saying? Are you following all this interest in all this? Which means, can you live in total anonymity and total humility? You may have a name, may write a book, or talk like you're doing, and be somewhat famous or notorious, whatever you like to use the word. But nothing behind it. So you're not seeking power through clairvoyance, through telepathy, all this can be used by governments to control the captain in the submarine. They're all experimenting with all this, for God's sake, aware of all this. And can one live without any sense of power? You know, there's a great beauty in that, to be totally anonymous. And the whole world is seeking identity, power, position. Now, next question is, can the brain, please listen to this, can the brain, which is millions and millions years old, so heavily conditioned, so full of all that a man has collected through centuries, and therefore is acting mechanically all the time, can that brain be free from the known? And can that brain never get old? Old in the sense physically. You understand what I'm talking about? Don't you ask these questions? Do you? Perhaps you do when you get old, when you are somewhat decrepit, when you have lost your capacity to think, you're losing your memory, and then you say, oh my God, I wish I could go back and be young again, to have a fresh mind, young mind, decisive mind. Don't you ask this sometimes? Whether this brain can lose its burden and be free and never deteriorate. Don't say yes or no. Find out. Which means, please listen if you want to interested in this. which means never psychologically register anything. Right? Is that, you understand? Never to register the flattery, the insult, the various forms of impositions, pressures. Never to keep the tape completely fresh. Then it is young. Innocence means a brain that has never been wounded. Right? That is innocence. That knows no misery, conflict, sorrow, pain, all that, which is all registered in the brain. Therefore, it's always limited, old as it grows, physically older. Whereas if there is no recording whatsoever, psychologically, then the brain becomes extraordinarily quiet, extraordinarily fresh. This is not a hope, this is not a reward. Either you do it and discover it, or you just accept words and say, how marvelous that must be. I wish I could experience that. And you're off the mark. Whereas if you do it, you'll find out. So the brain then becomes, because of this insight, which we talked about, because of that insight, the brain cells undergo a change. It's no longer holding to memories. It's no longer the house of vast collected antiquity. Right? So that's that. Then also, we must ask a question. Is there anything sacred in life? Is there anything that's holy, untouched by thought? You understand my question? Please understand the question itself. That which is holy, sacred, we put them in the churches as symbols. The Virgin Mary, the Christ on the cross. Go to India, they have their own particular images. Go to Buddhist countries, they have their own images. And that has become sacred. The name, the sculpture, the image, the symbol. In certain places, churches, temples, mosques, and so on. In the mosque, naturally there are no images, but lovely writing, which has become an image also. Now we're asking a question. Is there anything sacred in life? Sacred being, that which is deathless, timeless, from eternity to eternity, that which has known no beginning and no end. You understand? We're asking this. You can only find that out. Now, you can't find it out. Nobody can find it out. It may come